Hello everyone. So, Odyssey is a complex game, and when I think about it from a review perspective, I do definitely think it's a bit of a mixed bag. It definitely has its merits, but it also has its flaws. But I do think it is overall good, and I'm going to go over that now because this is a review, after all. So, for a start, I think one of its best qualities is the gameplay. I think the way that skills and abilities are applied and used has been a big improvement over Origins, making each ability, even the ones that just provide percentage bonuses, it feels more worthwhile than in Origins where a lot were just XP bonuses for doing a headshot or assassinating someone. It didn't really feel as worthwhile because you just progressed through a perk tree, whereas in Odyssey, a lot of the abilities, or most of them at least, are very impactful. They have a big impact on how you play and how the combat goes, and so you have to put them into a loadout, and it makes things feel a lot more worthwhile when you get an ability point and you level up. And I also think the overall flow of combat has been greatly improved, and the loss of the shield, while it can be weird in some places having played Origins and kind of expecting the shield, thinking you'll have it there, sometimes you don't, it feels a little weird, but I do definitely think it helps because it doesn't feel as similar to Origins as if you had the shield there. And I think that also the increased impact of playstyle choice has been immensely helped by the addition of armor because it provides bonuses to different skills like assassination, warrior, hunter with the bows. So the addition of armor as loot is a big thing, and I think it helps the flow of the gameplay go a bit better because you don't have to grind out for different resources just to upgrade pieces of armor for little percentage bonuses. And I think that this also, it helps with the RPG elements of the gameplay and the playstyle choice. Makes something like the one-hit kill assassinations, which were a big thing that people didn't like not being able to do in Origins, because, you assassinated someone and they're not dead. It felt a bit weird, and that was a thing that people didn't like. It makes it a bit more viable and more common now, because you can put a lot of points into doing a lot of assassination damage, and almost always getting those one-hit kills. And I think that definitely helps because assassinations are a big thing in Assassin's Creed games. On top of this, though, the naval gameplay is also very good. It retains the base formula of Black Flag's naval gameplay, but it also introduces new elements like fire arrows that consume adrenaline, and lieutenants that give bonuses to ship stats like hull strength and weak point creation, and it's also transferred over very well to the new engine, which I think is very nice to have that naval gameplay back in. It's a bit different, and it doesn't feel quite as fresh as in Black Flag, but it is still a very nice feature to have. So, Odyssey's gameplay is quite good, but what about the story? Well, for me the story I think it is quite good. I have only played, of course, one version to one ending, because as an RPG it does have different story outcomes, of course. But for me, I think the story is definitely good. It has its characters that I got invested in, and when you achieve a goal in it that's been set out, it does feel rewarding. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail on this, and talk about characters and events and things, because I do want to keep it fairly spoiler-free, but I think the story was definitely a good one. It did fall short at some points with the Assassin's Creed elements. I did expect this, though, being that Odyssey is set 400 years before the Assassins were created. I expected the game to be fairly detached, but other than some first Civ stuff, I did not find much of anything similar between kind of the rest of the games in the franchise and the Assassin's Creed lore, other than the idea of destroying an order that wants to control the world or something, that kind of thing. That was the only big similarity I noted, along with the first Civ stuff. So considering all of this as the pros and cons of Odyssey, overall, I do think that I found myself splitting the game into two big parts: the gameplay and the story. The gameplay, I think, it's very good. The RPG elements are fleshed out, the gameplay and the flow of it all is very good. It's amazing. Well, I don't know, maybe not amazing, but it's very good. The story falls a bit short. It doesn't relate back to the franchise as much, and while being a worthwhile story, that's not all that needs to be there when the game is part of a larger franchise. It feels quite detached, and it feels more like just a story set in ancient Greece and a bit set in the Assassin's Creed universe than an Assassin's Creed game. But at the end of the day, I think that the pros definitely outweigh the cons, and being that the story is a good story, I think that Odyssey is without a doubt a good game, but maybe not the best AC game. Though this is all just my opinion, and I'd love to hear yours, so definitely leave that down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, whatever you want. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.